How's it going, y'all? Today what I wanted to do is do an unboxing of our newest product, the reusable grow medium. So what I want to do is go step by step, show you how you're going to pull this out of the box, what it's like getting it ready to be used, and what kind of trays it fits into and things like that. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So I've already kind of pre-opened this little box right over here, and this is how you're going to be receiving the set of reusable grow medium. Now you'll notice sometimes there may be a little bit of this stainless steel mesh that kind of comes undone. I'll show you how to deal with that here in just a moment. So first we need to get this unraveled. To save on shipping, we do have this kind of bunched together, so you will have to go through the process of actually shredding out this medium. Otherwise we would have had to use really large boxes to ship this, and it just would have made the shipping cost like $20 for each shipment for y'all, so we wanted to avoid that if possible. So now this just begins to kind of unravel by itself, and what I'm going to do is, see these little ones up here that are kind of stragglers. I'm just going to pull that off because I don't want to get pinched by that as we're working on this. The same is going to happen with that top one right there. So any like little guys like that, I just go ahead and pull off and toss into my trash. So one thing you will notice with this medium is it can be a little bit pokey, so wearing gloves would be something that you could do, but I've been using this medium for a little while, so I'm kind of used to how to handle it. The main thing is you don't want to be like grabbing it straight on. I mean, even then, it doesn't really hurt my skin. I could grab this with a good amount of force, but still, just to be careful, perhaps wearing gloves, leather gloves or something like that would be a good option. So you'll notice it just kind of wants to go back into that position that it was shipped in every time I let go. So what we need to do is we need to bend against it to get this flattened out. So I'm going to go ahead and pull one of these out, set one aside, and we will get started. This one just keeps wanting to run away on me. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of lay it the opposite direction, and I'm going to begin taking like my hand and just kind of pulling against this just a little bit. So I'll use one hand to kind of pry against it, the other hand to kind of push down. We don't want to like put hard creases in it, but I do want to kind of push against where this has like the memory of being in the opposite direction. So there we go, it's starting to straighten out just a little bit. I like to do some kind of like rolling. And the good news is once you've done this once, you don't really need to do this again unless you accidentally put like a bad crease in it, and then again, it's really not that bad. So right there, I actually just got poked by this little guy right here, so I'm going to pull this one out. Now for these really bad creases, what I do is I like to take my finger and I just kind of push in all the way across this little crease, putting my other hand behind, and I kind of allow it to be flexed in the opposite direction there. You can even kind of do a little bit of this. You don't want to do too much of bending it in that direction, but it does help to kind of straighten out those creases. And again, this second little major crease right here, we're just going to get this out. So you can see how this is a little bit of a process at first, but look, we're already a lot closer than we were compared to this one over here. So it just takes a little bit of time at first to get this going. So I'm going to spend a little bit more time just kind of straightening this little piece out right here. And again, kind of doing my like rolling technique there. I kind of bend this over just a little bit in the opposite direction to give it some memory of going in the other direction here. Okay, so we're getting a lot closer. Alright, so we are nearly there with this medium. I just gotta get this side. So what I like to do is I like to set it into the tray to see where I'm at with the progress on it. And I can see that I have a good little like hump over here. So again, I'm just gonna kind of take my hand here, and we're just gonna slowly try to work that shape out. So I noticed another little pokey over here. Another good option, instead of pulling it out too, you can always take a little bit of your clippers and just clip that little guy off right there. Alright, almost there. Like I said, the good thing is once you get it done the first time, you don't really need to do it again. because it's not going to be that tensioned anymore. All right, so I'm actually happy with this. You can notice there are a few still little ripples. I could spend some more time working those out, but I've worked with this medium long enough to know that that's really not going to affect how it actually works. So what I like to do now is, let's go ahead and show what trays this fits into. So the first tray I've got here is a Bootstrap Farmer 1020 mesh tray. I just want to show the fit on this guy. So you'll notice that it covers all the way to the edges. Basically, there's a tiny, tiny little gap on each side. And then as for the edges lengthwise, there is a little bit of a gap there on both sides, but again, it's not over where the holes are, so this should be perfect. Now as for the second tray, this is a no-hold 1020 tray. So I just want to show how this fits into here. And again, same thing, it fits really great. We do have a little bit of space on the sides, but that's in case you know, whenever we finish, we need to be able to pick it up and stuff like that. So I like to have a little bit of room on the sides there. But one thing I like to do with the no-hold 1020s is I will actually do grows in just this without a bottom watering tray. So that is an option that the stainless steel reusable grow mediums give you, is that you don't really need to have a second tray in here to have to do that bottom watering process where you lift up the tray, pour the water underneath. You can in fact just have your mesh right here, and you can pour the water right over the top, and the roots hold in well enough into this mesh that it will not really affect them. So to give you an example, I've actually got some right here. This is some basic salad mix that is growing on a stainless steel reusable grow medium. This is one of my older models here, and you can see that the mesh doesn't go all the way to the sides. But you can see how I've got water in here in the bottom. I can just kind of pull it over here into the side. And whenever I do it, I'll just water it. I'll pour the water straight into the side there, and then it actually just goes all throughout the tray. So I don't really need to worry about, again, having that bottom tray there for the bottom watering process. So it does save you on equipment. You don't need as many trays if you're going to be using this. It is nice to have that option if you wanted to lift up the tray and do the bottom watering. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. If you wanted to, you can also do like Kratky style grows with this. If you're curious about that, we do that with some of our pea microgreens, where basically you have a nice large reservoir of water underneath, and you have this mesh tray here to kind of sit above that and let the roots grow down into it. So that's another option if you wanted to use the mesh tray to grow Kratky style with these mesh reusable grow mediums. Okay, so I would quickly want to recap. It took us about 5 minutes to get this medium straightened out, and again, this is only going to be a one-time process. So as soon as you first get this, it's going to be the biggest kind of pain in the booty, is getting this straightened out for the first time. But once you do that, again, it's just going to be working well, unless you accidentally get a crease in it. But then again, you already have that knowledge of how to straighten that crease out, so you can just keep reusing this, keep reusing it from this point forward, as long as you take care of the medium well. Now, one question we get a lot of is, what kind of seeds can I grow on this? And the question is, you can grow basically all of the seeds. The ones that we struggle with most are like the amaranth seeds, because they are so tiny that they do seem to fall through the mesh. But we are working on ways to get around that, such as pre-germinating the seeds. And you can actually see here we've got some amaranth. This is a test. I should have done a higher seeding density here. But this amaranth, we pre-germinated, and then that allowed the seeds to expand just a little bit, and then sit on top of the medium instead of just falling straight through with their really small seeds. So there are options here to get through that. And another question is, how is it with treating mold on this? And treating mold on this is super easy. There's lots of options, such as you could take this over to your sink, and you can actually just spray out the tray as everything's growing, because the roots will be held on so strong that actually the plants won't fall out. So you can do that, and also just spot treating it with like vinegars or different kind of basic gardening sprays, such as like baking sodas mixed with other things, and H2O2 sprays also work well on this medium as well, because this is a 316 grade stainless steel. It is corrosion resistant, and it's pretty resistant to most chemicals and stuff like that. Now, as for growing crops, again, talking about seeds, some of the very small ones are a little bit challenging, like the amaranth and stuff like that, but as long as you kind of pre-germinated them and then spread them out, you generally won't have any issues with them falling through. As for all other seeds, I mean, we've noticed most brassicas work really well. A lot of the mustards, broccolis, kohlrabis, all the seeds are large enough not to fall through this mesh, and that's specifically why I got this mesh screen here. And all the roots do grow really well. I didn't want to get anything really, really fine on the mesh, and the reason is that sometimes that hinders the root growth and they're not able to actually get those roots through, and it kind of chokes them off a little bit. So I wanted something where these were able to breathe really quite well, so that's why we went with this mesh size. What we're going to be doing now is we're going to start doing a lot of experiments with growing on this medium, all kinds of different seed varieties, and we're going to be sharing the results with you guys. That way you guys can get an idea on how to grow different crop varieties on this. Mandy's going to be starting some for alfalfa, I believe, and other crops like that. So, and we're also going to be doing nutrient experiments, things like ocean solution that we use, Maxi Grow, Master Blend. There's just tons of options. You can even use liquid worm castings are a great option for your water source. So there's lots of great organic options as well as conventional nutrient options, such as like the Maxi Grows and Master Blends and stuff like that. So I think that about covers all the bases. I just want to share with you guys what it's like to kind of get this going. And again, we're going to be doing all kinds of full walkthroughs with this. We're going to show you guys how to use these mediums, how to add nutrients to it, and we'll just be doing all kinds of experiments that we are fully informed on how to use this. And we're really excited. We've already gotten a ton of orders on these. We got a bunch in Canada and a bunch all over the US. So we're just really appreciative of the support, and we hope that you guys really do enjoy this product. Alrighty, y'all. Well, let us know if you have any questions or comments. If this is on YouTube, leave them in the comment section below, or if this is on our website, be sure to check out the submission form. Drop any questions you have there, and we also have an email address that you can send questions to, which is info@onthegrow.net. And let us know again, or on social media too. You can pop questions there. Sometimes we're a little bit quicker at email and the form submission at getting responses to those than we are on Instagram sometimes, because we can get flooded with hundreds of comments a day. So be sure to just ask us any questions that you might have around this, and we will get back to you as soon as we possibly can. Hope that you guys enjoy it again. Have a great day and keep on believing.